So welcome. My name is Ryder Maven. I am the host of the Wrestling Receipts podcast. I cover all things Judgment Day. Dom, Liv, Raquel, Finn, JD, Roxanne, Poor Carlito, and El Grande Americano, and Los Americanos, who have the new names of Bravo for the blue one and Rayo for the red one. So we actually have names this time. Um, Y'all acknowledge Dirty Dom as your king of the luchadors and your double champion because he did retain against Rusev. Like I said, I was feeling it was a 75 to 80% chance of him retaining, and he did, and he won it on his own using some Eddie Guerrero tactics there. I do see that some people are trying to say that's him going, showing like a face like movement, but he's still heel. In this day and age in the WWE, anybody can pretty much get cheered. Look at Seth; he was getting cheered before Cody got out there, so he's still heel. He's just gonna get cheered. I do see him probably swinging to tweener, but that's probably going to be still a long time coming, and you still have some other feuds that where he would still need heel to be, like CM Punk and Ray. Um, Finn and JD did do the significant thing and leave Dom on his own. Um, so yeah, and then it's the interesting thing to me about this is that they leave him alone, and then in the interview that I'm not sure if y'all saw because this was like an international interview with Byron Saxton, it was just Finn backpedaling hard. I'm like, dude, just own up to it. Just say you left him on his own after what he did to JD last week. Why are you backpedaling? Why are you trying to lie and say that Dom assured us that he could win on his own? Because we didn't get any kind of confirmation on that. We didn't get any kind of reactions from Roxanne and Raquel, and that was something that was kind of needed tonight. Like if we hadn't gotten anything else, we needed to see where Roxanne and Raquel are landing in this, because right now we do see the split. It's like Dom is split from Finn and JD, and Dom is more fucking with El Grande Americano and Los Americanos. Um, so we really did need Roxanne and Raquel in there. Raquel did get a win against Bailey, but it's so 50-50 book with them because they're just being used for somebody else's story, and y'all know that I hate that. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna get into a little bit. I'm gonna get into it a little bit more in depth. The lack of clubhouse scenes. I'm kind of okay with it, but like I said, I think we just needed at least like one little segment there to at least get the ladies' reactions and opinions on things. Like I needed to see what Roxanne was gonna say. I needed to see what Raquel was gonna do. I needed something like that. Everything else would have been fine. Um, but we did at least get some advancement, so it is what it is. And of course, we couldn't have Judgment Day advancement when they were giving us Rhea and Io's melodrama for at least 5 segments. And then, of course, with Rhea, I gotta say that I had to call bullshit on Rhea because she was saying, "I know how family betrays." Like, woman, please, whose fault is that? Like, this is why I get so annoyed with the WWE when they insult my intelligence like this, because we know why, and because they didn't want to address anything with Rhea, everything is falling flat with me. I'd probably be enjoying this storyline a little bit more if they had acknowledged that, but no. Like, I know it's your fault, woman. We know what you did to Liv. We know what you did to Dom. We know what you did to Raquel. Like, I guess now maybe in the future, EO's gonna suffer that same fate. But I don't know. I don't really want to talk about Rhea right now, so yeah. But let's go on and get into it, shall we? Pre-Raw during the walk-in, we had Dom pause to acknowledge his buddies El Grande Americano and Los Americanos, and I do like that Los Americanos was included in this, so it wasn't just Dom giving his greeting to just El Grande Americano. Los Americanos was in there too, so that was really interesting. Don was in the back, so Finn and JD were up there in the front, and I'm thinking there's the split here where Finn and JD are thinking they're hot shit, and Finn thinks he's leading, but we all know El Jefe is leading. Jefe is leading the group, so but we did get at least that little acknowledgement from Dom and El Grande there, and I'm liking they're continuing that. Also, we still did not get any kind of reaction with Roxanne and Raquel because they were in the middle, so I couldn't really tell what they were thinking doing there. So it is what it is. Um, so first up off the bat, we had Dom versus Rusev. Like I said, Finn and JD left Dom on his own. We might have had Finn eyeing Dom's belt again. So I'm like, okay, dude, like shit or get off the pot. We're at that point now. Um, this isn't me about saying like Dom needs to leave Judgment Day or Dom needs to just or whatever. Somebody needs to leave and some trigger needs to get pulled. It's getting beyond stale at this point, along with the bloodline. But I'll talk about that a little bit more. Um, so Finn and JD leave Dom, but Pete Dom's reactions here, he wasn't really surprised. Did y'all notice that? He wasn't panicking and he wasn't really surprised. It's like he almost kind of knew they were going to do that. So again, that's one of those two steps ahead things that Dom has. Like he always has some sort of plan. So even though he was out on his own, he had a plan for Rusev, and they had and Dom and Rusev duked it out. Dom kicked out of the Mashka kick. And then Dom did his Eddie Guerrero tactics to win against Rusev by first he went and grabbed his belts, both of them, and then when the ref is trying to get the belts away, he tries to do the Eddie flop where he tosses the belt at Rusev and falls to the ground. Now I'm finding it interesting that the refs are catching on to this with Dom, so Dom can't really do this kind of Eddie moves. So what Dom does is that he uses it for the setup. So he uses the Eddie flop to the ground after tossing the belt to distract the referee. So when the referee grabs the belt and goes to give it back to the timekeeper, he like goes up to grab onto the ref, and then that prompts Rusev to grab him. And when he does that, Dom does a low blow to Rusev with his leg by kicking back. So Dom just pretty much takes his leg and kicks back. Dom did this with Gunther. I want to say earlier this year. Yeah, so like around what was that, Elimination Chamber or something like that. One of these times earlier this year, Dom did the same thing. Gunther won that match, but here Dom wins. So Dom kicks his leg back, low blows Rusev, and then Dom rolls him up with the pull of the tights to pin Rusev 1, 2, 3, and Dom wins. This is a significant win. Dom pretty much won it on his own. He just uses his own tactics. Um, Rusev gave us the funniest look after the match because he's like screaming in pain because he got low blowed. So I had this shot of him just screaming here after Dom did it. So yeah, Dom wins, and like I said, this is kind of like a skin of your teeth type win. It was an Eddie type win, but it's still kind of a skin of his teeth win. Um, so Dom won basically. Um, like I said, it's a needed win where he's doing stuff on his own, and this is like the second win that he's kind of won on his own. Like he won against AJ on his own using his own tactics. So that's good. Um, Rusev still might be in the hunt. He might be like roaring mage, and maybe next week we'll have him try to bulldoze his way into another match or something like that. But he still might be there. So next after this, I'm not sure if y'all saw this, but we did have the Byron Saxton interview with Finn and JD. Um, we have Byron was asking about them leaving, and then he's like, and then Ben and the are like, "Are you trying to stir up trouble?" I'm like, I mean, you did leave, dude. Like, what the hell? And then um, Byron was still pressing it, and then Finn says that Dom told them that he could handle it on his own. And I was like, I posted about this on the X, and I'm like, okay, sure, Jan. Like, come on. Like, we needed some confirmation that Dom actually said that because we never did get any kind of confirmation that Dom said that he would quote unquote handle it on his own. But I find it interesting that, like I said earlier, that Finn is backpedaling here, backpedaling hard. Like, own up to this shit. Like, just like I said earlier, like, just say that, hey, Dom left JD on his own, so he needed to be on his own for this match. Finito. If you want to do it like that, like water under the bridge and all that, to make it like cool, and on the up and up, just say like, hey, this is just for Dom leaving JD out to dry last week. So why are you backpedaling, dude? Because I know he didn't talk to Dom about that, but we don't have no confirmation on that. So it's one of those things that's kind of up in the air. We probably won't. We may find out next week, or we may not. But it is what it is. Byron also brought up the tag team championships and why they haven't defended them. So I'm really hoping that gets settled soon. Like they need to just go on and lose it. Have Dom have his belts, have him be double champ, and have JD and Finn lose it because they're not doing anything with it anyway. I mean, Dom is the one that's been having the most title defenses at this point. He's up there with Sammy, and he's up there with like John Cena when he was having it. So he's like pretty much been the guy that's been having all these title matches and things like that. So just gotta pull them off. Either have those belts go to the new team of AJ Lee, which is AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, or give them to Los Americanos, or Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, or the Usos. I don't know. I don't care. Just get the belts off of Finn and JD's. So we now roll into Raquel versus Bailey. Now we had prior to this, Bailey was off because she had an argument with Lyra because Lyra doesn't know what the fuck Bailey is going through and what's up with her. So Bailey was kind of dejected. I'm gonna say that Big Mommy Cool, Raquel, and Roxanne have been eating in their looks. Like they've been looking really good. I've been liking how Raquel has been looking. She looks like she's been more comfortable in her skin, and I love that for her because she's been having some looks. Roxanne too, but they've been having those looks, and I've just been enjoying it. They had a pretty good match. Like I said, like I keep saying with Raquel, she's been going into her moveset. She's been powerhousing. Just, just she's been really owning up to her stature. And again, I love that for her as well. Um, Raquel gets the win with the Tejano bomb after Roxanne raked Bailey's eyes. Because Roxanne risked a DQ by trying to get Raquel out of the figure four. And then when the referee was distracted, she went in there and raked Bailey's eyes. And then Raquel won. After this, Raquel and Roxanne attempted to do a beatdown on Bailey. So this prompts Bird Girl Lyra to come out. And then she's conflicted because she don't know which Bailey is gonna come out, but she goes down there to help anyway. Raquel and Roxanne get the advantage on Lyra, which triggers something in Bailey, who goes into, I guess, the role model or whatever that persona is, and starts cleaning house. And there you go for that. So while I am really happy Raquel got a win because she needs a win and she needs to keep building her wins, I do not like this vortex. Like, who said that? Who's in the vortex? Oh, Magoo. I do not like how Roxanne and Raquel are in this vortex. Like I know we're waiting. They gotta wait on Liv to come back, but give them something else to do. I don't like them being used like this. It's so 50-50 books. They're just trading wins. Roxanne will lose and then Raquel will win, or vice versa. I don't like it. They deserve so much better than just being in somebody else's storyline. And like they could be if they're gonna be doing this, at least incorporate Roxanne and Raquel more to the Dom and Finn shenanigans. I mean, you could add them as flavor. They don't need to be the catalyst for it, but they could be adding some flavor to it. Give us some reactions, give us something like that. Something. They don't need to be stuck in this vortex where they're just trading wins. And I still do not like how they keep getting beaten down and run off. Like, can't they just stand tall for one of these times? Like, this could have been the time for Roxanne and Raquel to stand tall because that's what I thought that was going to happen. They were going, Raquel beats Bailey. They beat down Bailey. And then maybe Lyra runs out to chase them off, but they ultimately are able to stand tall. They're not able to stand tall. That's not fair. I don't like it. Like if I gotta look at Rhea running around standing tall and everything, Raquel and Roxanne should be at least be able to stand tall at least one time. And I really thought that was gonna happen, but it didn't. So And then, of course, we got the notification that it's going to be Roxanne versus Lyra next week. And I'm like, didn't we just have this match a couple of weeks ago? Why are they running it back? Just gonna do the tag team of Roxanne and Raquel versus Lyra and Bailey. Why are we doing this again? Is Roxanne going to lose this one too? At least let her win, because Roxanne needs to win. I know there's one person that I keep picking a bear about or poking a bear about because of how they get all butthurt about Roxanne, but I do agree with them about her losing because that's kind of fucked up. I mean, if I'm gonna bitch about how Dom was losing all this time earlier this year, last year, then I gotta bitch about Roxanne losing all this time. So yeah, so we might get that tag team match sooner rather than later. And like somebody has mentioned that it is interesting that Dom and Raquel are getting the wins and Roxanne is losing. But at least Roxanne was effective here. Like she was effective with her help this time around. So maybe that's the trend here. Like maybe there's gonna be some um Raquel, Roxanne, Dom things where they're effective with their help, and then with Finn and JD it's not. See what I mean? Maybe there's something like that. And this segues us into Byron Saxton's second interview of the night, featuring Dirty Dom, El Jefe, and the King of the Luchadors. Byron was talking about AAA stuff, so he wasn't really talking about the Intercontinental title. He was talking about AAA. He was bringing up Dragon Lee as the number one contender. Dom was talking to shit, and then who shows up? Penta, all up in Dom's face. Now, Dom has the funniest expressions when Penta was talking his shit, like he wants the Intercontinental Champion, and Penta called Dom a pendejo. And when when Penta leaves, all you see with Dom is Dom wiping his face because Penta was spitting. So you see Dom wiping his face, and then when Byron is asking about that confrontation Dom Penta had with him, Dom was like, "I beat that guy like 5 times already." So it the whole ending part was hilarious. So it looks like old Penta, even though he just should just go ahead and admit that he loves Dom, is probably gonna have to go after the Intercontinental Championship. So maybe we get a triple threat match between Penta, Rusev, and Dom, and then Dom wins that one or something like that. And then he moves on. Because Dom needs to get out of this vortex too of old guys. Like he doesn't need to be going up against Rusev again. He doesn't need to go up against Penta again. I need Dom to start having some feuds with CM Punk. I need to have Dom having some feuds with Cena if they're gonna give him one of those slots. I need Dom to start having his feud with fucking Finn for fuck's sake. I need to have Dom moving into other feuds. Give me my Dragon Lee feud again. Like Dom versus Dragon Lee for the Intercontinental Championship. Move into that feud. If Ilya's coming back, fine. Give me that feud too. I wouldn't mind that. Dom versus Ilya because they had some good matches. Give me that feud. But all this other stuff that just needs to go away. Go away. Bye, Penta. I like you, but go away. Go team with your brother Ray Phoenix. Um, so that was that was Raw. It would like to wrap everything. Oh no, that wasn't Raw. I got to talk about Los Americanos. What's wrong with me? So we did have AJ Styles versus Dragon Lee. I mean AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Los Americanos. We were able to get a Dragon Lee promo in the ring, and I am so happy for him to get this promo and talk about what he's going to be doing. He was talking about going for the Mega Championship, and he was talking with AJ, who was talking about how he has a match with John Cena and how the fans made that possible. So I was really happy that Dragon Lee got that promo. And of course, I see the bitching on the X of how come Dom can't get a promo in the ring. Okay, yeah, it's fair to be mad that Dom is not getting in ring promos in the ring in the WWE, unlike AAA. But I have to say that Dragon Lee needs that promo time a little bit more than Dom. Dom is over. Dom will show up and he'll be over. Would I want him to have a promo? Yeah. But it's not fair to Dragon Lee to have that complaint. Like, if you're going to complain about somebody always having promo time, talk about that with Seth. Talk about that with Cody. Talk about that where Paul Heyman's got to talk ad nauseum for 30 minutes out of the hour on Raw. and SmackDown. Like, talk about those people that have always had some kind of unlimited promo time. You know, talk about them. Don't talk about Dragon Lee, who's just now finally getting some promo time, some needed promo time to establish himself. Because if he's gonna be up there with Dom and they're gonna be fight forever, then you need to have him establish himself too. So, don't bitch about Dragon Lee. Bitch about Seth and Cody and all them that always have the promo time. I mean, it's perfectly fair to want Dom to have in ring promo time because I do want Dom to have in ring promo time. So don't take it like I'm saying he doesn't need it. I mean, I'm just saying that it's not as important compared to um, Dragon Lee. So I'm just happy that Dragon Lee was able to get the promo time. And then we get El Grande Americano and Los Americanos. Like I said, we got the colors or the names of them, which is, like I said, um, Bravo, which is the blue one, and Rayo, which is the red one. And Wade Barrett pretty much insinuated that El Grande Americano asexually reproduced, which was hilarious. That they he's saying that he asexually reproduced Bravo and Rayo. It was a little pretty decent match. The team of AJ Styles, and Dragon Lee win against Los Americanos. Because El Grande Americano got taken out there. I would have wanted them to win, but I can see why not because everybody's kind of established, and then Los Americanos have been interfering with Dragon Lee and AJ Styles for a while, so I get why they got the win there. So, so they got the win. They're established. Dragon Lee has some credibility going into matches, possibly with Dom later on, and then AJ Styles has a win to build himself up for his Cena match. Um, and now that is Raw. Um, Overall, to talk about the tag team division a little bit, I'm kind of hoping that they just pull the trigger with those tag team belts, and I do hope that Dom arranges something. I don't want it to be more like a favor that Dom is kind of forced into doing with El Grande Americano. I kind of want it to be like Dom sets something up regarding those tag team titles. And what I'm thinking is what they can do so it doesn't make it like Dom is just specifically targeting Finn and Dom, or just specifically targeting where it could go to like Los Americanos. Like make it where it's like one of these fatal four ways or something like that. You know how they had on SmackDown where he had all the tag teams going after the belts. Do it like here. We have a couple of tag teams now. We got Team AJ Lee. We have Los Americanos. We still got the New Way running around. We got Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. We got Usos, um, War Raiders. And if they wanted to pull Bray Phoenix, you can throw him over there with Penta. Do something like that, and do like a little bit of like run one of those multi-man matches where maybe towards the end Dom slips in there and helps Los Americanos win. Like do something like that. Um but otherwise, overall for Raw, I'm happy Dom retained. Like I said, I didn't think Rusev was winning, and when they pretty much had Rusev come out first at the first match, I was like, yeah, he's not winning it. There were some dirt sheet reporters that were trying to post Rusev's picture, and he's kind of presenting it like Rusev would win. But once I heard that Roman Reigns was spotted, I'm like, okay, he's getting a main event spot. So it's no, Dom's not getting that spot, so he's possibly retaining, and he did. He won on his own, which is significant, and Raquel is winning too, which is significant. It builds up her repertoire, but they need to give Raquel and Roxanne their own storylines. So going into next week, what we need is clarification. Did Dom say that he was going to win on his own? We need the reactions and the opinions of Roxanne and Raquel next week on how they're feeling about Dom and Finn. Like, are they leaning towards Finn's side or are they leaning towards Dom's side? I do want to see more shenanigans with Dom and El Grande Americano. Um, And then they need to start figuring out what they're going to do with these tag team title belts. I kind of wanted multi-man, so they can lose, and then you throw it over there to Los Americanos for a little bit, and then run it from there. But that's Raw.